Hello everyone, I am Punyakirti BL. Welcome to my Python for Generative AI learning series. In this series, we are focusing on Python basics that will help us to build a strong foundation for implementing generative AI concepts. So let's dive in and start today's session. Your today's topic is master positional only parameters in Python. Make your Python functions cleaner and faster. So let's start with introduction. When defining functions in Python, we usually pass arguments either by position or by keyword. However, in Python 3.8 later, a new feature called positional only parameter was introduced. This feature gives developers more control over how function arguments are passed. It helps make code cleaner, prevents errors, and ensures the functions are used in a consistent way. So, what are positional only parameters? A positional only parameter is a function argument that must be passed using its position, not by using a keyword. In other words, you cannot call the function by specifying the argument name. You can only pass the values in the correct order. To define position only parameters, Python uses a forward slash in the function definition. Everything before the slash is position only. For example, here is the syntax. We have defined keyword for defined function and we have a function name. Then a and b are the positional parameters because they are coming before forward slash. C and D can be argument or positional. So a and b are positional only parameters and C and D can be passed either by position or keyword. So let's example with mixed parameters. This is my function which I have tried. Now you are able to compile. Now I am able to compile this. Let's call this function how it will works. So the correct usage will be like this. What I am doing. So I passed 1, 2 as a positional parameters. Then C is equal to 3, D is equal to 4 argument parameters. Then keyword parameters. Then automatically they are working fine. But sometimes what happens, incorrect usage keyword for A and B. So if I make keyword arguments for position only parameters like A and B, that what it will happen, see. So my function got some positional only argument passed as keyword arguments. They are A, B. So you will get the exception. This is the wrong way to access. Next. So why use positional only parameters? Positional only parameters are not just about syntax. They provide important advantages. First one is clarity. They make it clear which parameters are meant to be passed positionally. This improves the readability of your code and avoids confusion for anyone using your function. Error prevention. They prevent users from accidentally passing arguments using the wrong method. This reduces bugs caused by incorrect use of parameter names. Then, backward compatibility. When you design functions that might evolve over time, for example, in APIs, using positional only parameter prevents future issues if parameter names change. Callers won't depend on argument names, only their order. Performance. In some cases, positional only arguments can be slightly faster because Python does not have to handle keyword lookups. Next, we have example 2 division function. Let's write a simple division function where both parameters are position only. So let's try. This is my function. Let's understand what the function is. Then we can call with parameters. So this is a function with name divide with numerator and denominator. We are specifying forward slash here. Then numerator and denominator becomes positional only parameters. So if denominator is equal to 0, then it will throw an exception. I am compiling this one. Now first example, correct usage. Result is equal to divide. Then we are printing the, so what we are doing, we are passing the parameters in positional only 10 and 2 as a positional only parameters. Now we are getting the result as 5.0. The incorrect usage will be like this. What I am doing, keyword based, I am passing with keyword based. So keyword I am specifying numerator and denominator. That's why it will throw an exception. Divide got some positional only arguments passed as keyword arguments, numerator and denominator. This exception raises automatically. The error happens because both numerator and denominator are defined as position only. So, combining parameter types. Python allows you to mix different types of parameters in the same function. So, what I am doing, I am defining a function. So, before this one, so my function is the function with a b with forward slash and c star d is equal to 10. So, we have a b c d e 5 parameters. I compiled. Now, understand what all we have. So, a and b are positional only, must be passed by position before slash. Then C, positional or keyword. C will be positional or keyword. Can be used either way. D, keyword only. Must be passed using its name after star. D, we have to pass. E, keyword only. Default is equal to 10. So, correct usage. Let's try. Here, we are calling the function my function. 1, 2 parameters. These are positional only. We are passed. Then 3, automatically we are passing for C. D is equal to 4, we are passing, so that's fine, we are value D. E we are not passing, default will be 10, it will take and it will print the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. This is the correct way of usage. So sometimes we are trying to do person only with the keyword, what happens? So same error we are getting because we used A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2 as they are positional only parameters. So, what are the best practices for using positional only parameters? Use them when argument order matters. For example, mathematical operations where A and B must follow a specific sequence. Apply them in APIs and libraries. This ensures consistent usage and prevents users from depending on internal parameter names. Add clear documentation. Always describe what each parameter represents, especially if users can't see names in the function call. Use type hints. Adding type hints improves code readability and helps IDEs catch mistakes early. So, example with type hints. So, here we can specify type hints and use the function. So, what we are doing, this is the function divide. Numerator, we are passing the type hint as float. Denominator, typing as a float. So, when we call this divide, we are getting the values divide of 10 by 2. So, what I will do, I will try to pass A. Destroy an exception, name A is not defined because I'll pass a string. So, when we run, so operand type for slash str and int because float is the hint for that data type, hint for parameter. This function is now clearer and easier to maintain. So, this is the way how we can specify type hints for parameters. Let's wrap up. Positional only parameters are powerful addition to Python's function definition syntax. They improve code clarity, reduce errors from incorrect argument passing, help maintain compatibility across versions, offer slight performance improvements in some cases. By using them thoughtfully, you can make your Python function clearer, cleaner, more readable, and easier to maintain. Let's quick recap. In this lesson, you learned what position only parameters are, how to define them using slash, the difference between positional only, keyword only, and mixed parameters, when and why to use them, common examples, and best practice. So, thank you for watching today's session. This is part of Python for Generative AI learning series. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to my channel for more videos. Also, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. The link is in the description. See you in the next session. Thank you very much.